What's going on, everyone? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, Future Gohan is my personal favorite iteration of Gohan, where we got to see a Gohan that was similar to his father Goku. But why was Future Gohan so weak, as we saw his potential during the main timeline many times? Today we attempt to answer and theorize why Future Gohan was so weak in the future timeline. Now, for us to theorize why Future Gohan was so weak, we have to analyze the character of Gohan himself first. While Gohan had immense potential as a fighter, maybe even the most potential in the entire series, he just wasn't a true fighter like Vegeta or even his father. Where Gohan would only fight when he was in trouble or his friends were in trouble, where it was only the last resort, where he would, was just not a true fighter himself. As Gohan really improved fighting, training with Piccolo and his father to help them get ready for the next threat. But Gohan would not really take the initiative himself as long as there was peace on the planet, as we saw the 7-year gap during the Majin Buu saga and the Android saga. The Gohan just didn't necessarily have the drive to become a great fighter. He wanted to become a great scholar, and that's why he just never really pursued his martial arts, only when he had to. Now also, Gohan had nobody to train with, as everybody was wiped out by the androids, or in his father's case, was killed by the heart virus. Now, most likely during the 3-year gap between fighting Frieza and the androids arriving, Gohan probably didn't train all that much, as he was probably too wrapped up in his studies, and as we've seen with the character, that he just doesn't really have the drive to become a great martial artist, so more than likely, he didn't train that much in that 3-year gap. Now, especially at a young age, Gohan didn't have any teachers, as his father and Piccolo are both dead, and even Vegeta, he couldn't even get any help from him. Not that Vegeta would really help him anyway. As Gohan would have to pick up the scraps himself and learn how to train himself and, really have to work through a lot of struggles on his own, not having any mentors with him, which is going to be tough, especially at a young age. As Whis said in Dragon Ball Super that training in groups is far more effective than training yourself, and as Gohan's the last fighter strong enough to beat the androids, he was only training by himself until Trunks got old enough 13 years later. Another possible reason was that Gohan just never tried to ascend past the Super Saiyan limit. Now, throughout the series, we've seen Goku and Vegeta push their limits time and time again, ascend to new forms, even stronger forms, but Super Saiyan was all that Future Gohan knew. That his father passed away before he could even go beyond Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2 or even the Ultra Super Saiyan. And Vegeta the same way, as those two were pretty much the strongest fighters in the series until the androids showed up in the future timeline. Super Saiyan was all that Gohan knew, that maybe future Gohan thought that the Super Saiyan barrier was the strongest that a Saiyan could be. And with him having no knowledge of even going up to the Ultra Greatest Super Saiyan or the Super Saiyan Great 2, that he wasn't even able to ascend past it, nor even beat the androids because of that. Also in the future timeline, Future Gohan had no knowledge of the hyperbolic time chamber, where even if he did know about the time chamber, he could have went in there himself when he was younger, he could have even went in there with Trunks to try to help Trunks become a Super Saiyan. He could use that as a really good training mechanism as time moves slower, that a year is only 1 day, that he could spend 2 years in that time chamber, and only would have been 2 days. Especially as Vegeta says with the gravity that place is a great place to train. And Gohan could have capitalized on it and even used that to help him even train even more. He could have used that to help train Trunks, but he just ended up not having any knowledge that it even existed in the first place. Now personally, I think Future Gohan should have been a lot stronger. I think it is a little bit of a plot hole in the series that Future Gohan was that weak. That even if he did have nobody to train with, and he didn't have any knowledge of breaking through the Super Saiyan barrier, he never had any rage boosts or anything like that, and he did have 13 years to train. Even if he was training a little bit slower, that he should have been stronger than the androids in that time. Now, personally, in my own headcanon, watching, the fight between him and the androids, even though Android 17 did state that the androids were using less than 50% of their power when they were fighting Future Gohan, I think in their final confrontation in the rain when one-armed Future Gohan was fighting both of them, that if he was fighting one of the androids, he might have even ended up winning against them. But fighting them both at the same time, I just think overwhelmed him, and that he just wasn't able to beat both of them, especially with one arm left. So that his only choice was pretty much to fight the androids, knowing that he wasn't going to win, and then place his hopes in Trunks, that Trunks would be the one to defeat the androids, which ended up happening. Now let me know what your favorite iteration of Gohan is, as mine's Future Gohan, as I think he's pretty badass, and I just like the whole, you strike me down, I'll become even more powerful than you can imagine, kind of like that little Star Wars vibe that Obi-Wan did to Darth Vader during their final duel on the Death Star. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.